get to it.
La, 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 la.
Welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the legendary New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I will be your host for the evening. I am Elemental. Happy Monday. This is the jump off, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. We do this every Monday. We've been doing this for 182 weeks, y'all. Can you dig it? Oh my goodness. But here we are. We're going to continue to rock it, right? Every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If you're watching on one of these streams and you would like to join us in the Zoom, the number is on your screen, 279-995-364. Jump in. It is a different world in the Zoom. Join the greatest community in the world. Trust me, it will change your life. We do this week after week thanks to dedicated folks who pay these bills. All right, so we would like to thank the Howard Gilman Foundation, the Poetry Foundation, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, and Education of America for hosting our free online events. You can add your energy to the mix with a tax-deductible donation by going to neweurekan.org/contribute. Make sure you are plugging in with the dopest tech in the Zoomverse, the one and only Ron Mark Thompson, aka RMT. If you're not down with RMT by now, damn it, you should be, because that cat's all over the place. You'll hear about him in a minute too. Make sure you are plugging in with the squad. Shout out C4. All these poets are amazing. And trust and believe, plug in with them. You will see some things. This is where you can find me. Lots of things going on. Make sure you are plugged in. Tonight's theme, family business, beautiful bloodlines, right? This is something I'm looking forward to, really. What's your family business? Have you joined it? Have you changed it? Have you improved it? Are you the trendsetter, right? Did you create the family business, right? Tell us about your beautiful bloodlines and how all of these branches of the tree connected and planted your seeds. I'm looking forward to it. If your poem's not on theme tonight, it's totally cool. We are still looking forward to everything that you have brought to share with us. All right, y'all. Next week's theme coming at y'all. Childhood candy stories. Sweet memories. Right? This is about those things, what was your favorite candy? What was the sweetest treat that changed a bad day to good? When you think about little kids, you know what I mean? You get a piece of candy and everything is better, right? What was one of those things, right? And like I said, sometimes the sweetest memories were created from something sweet, right? Like cake or pie or ice cream or something like that. So bring your stories around something sweet for next week. Here is a preview of the upcoming themes going through November, so you get a tiny jump on what's going on. Look, there's so many things, really. Again, it's still Hispanic Heritage Month. As I mentioned, please bring your theme, bring all your poems for it, right? We're going to do some things coming up. So be on the lookout. Things are going to get interesting. I hope all of you come through and dig into all of the themes. All right, let's get to the rules so we can get to the poems. Poets, turn your cameras on. We're trying to simulate a live open mic as much as possible. Plus, we love to see all the beautiful expression that goes into your poetic delivery. Also, see if you figure out the backgrounds. Also, make sure you are changing your Zoom name to coincide with how you want people to connect with you and all that you do. As you're getting ready to rock, have your poem ready. All right, if you're going analog, dog-ear the page. If you're going digital, have it pulled up ready to rock. If you're going with music, that's cool. Make sure it's original music and you have on your original sound if you're playing original music, right? Original music, original sound. We won't have any issues with the agents of the interweb, all right? Poets, you got 3 minutes to rock, all right? Be mindful of the people who are down at the end of the list, all right? They want all the time as well. So please keep your poems within the 3-minute range, y'all, for real. We have reached night 30 for the babies, all right? The founders of our cafe were major proponents on the freedom of speech, and we will make sure it maintains in every vein of what we do. Therefore, there is no censorship other than any hate speech or any ism that people may use to manipulate. I said will not be tolerated. Thou hath been warned. Poetry is a living, breathing trigger warnings. There are explicit lyricists in this community, and you may even hear some things that bring about triggering flashbacks, all right? This is why this community is here, all right? We got each other, but thou hast been warned, all right? Some people do this, but we do this. This is a true call and response space. After the poets get up here and rip out a piece of who they are, you will see this pop up on your screen. This is when you get a chance to share your energy with the room and the poets, all right? Don't worry about the noise, y'all. It's the rowdiest night of the week anyway, all right? So share all that energy with the room and the poets. All that energy that you give will come back to you in their poetic performance, all right? So give it up to the poets. The list tonight is closed, all right? To sign up, it begins 24 hours before the show, which will be Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You go to neweurekan.org, you click on full events calendar, you click on the Monday that you want to get down on, all right? You need an artist RSVP ticket. It's the only way that you're getting on the guaranteed list, all right? Also going on in the brick and mortar is the open mic hosted by alternately by Soul Preem and Felicia Cade. Also Wednesday night by the B and J Rose. Thursday night with La Bruja, but this week will be another special guest host, the one and only Ron Mark Thompson. So make sure you plug in. It's gonna be a great night. Also Friday in the brick and mortar is the Friday Night Slam hosted by Jive. Shout out DJ Paco. It is amazing in that building. After that is the open room with Chevette. Tonight's list. Whew. All these beautiful names, all these beautiful people, 182 weeks. And we are still getting new voices, y'all. Can you dig it? But here we are. There's my rowdy friends here on Monday night. Oh my goodness. It's the hypest night of the week with the greatest community in the world, and they're about to show you why. So let's get to it. As I'm posting the list in the chat, it is sure to be a monumental evening. So let's get to it. Coming up first this evening, rarely do I see this cat in the set it off spot. But listen, if this is what it's gonna be, y'all, listen, I hope you got all of it strapped on tight, your headgear, you listen, all of it, 5-point harness, the whole nine, because this cat is about to oblongata. Time for our Tez Talk, y'all. The one and only Mr. Tez the Soul Moke is here to set it off this evening. Let these folks know how they can connect with you, Mr. Tez. Always great to see you. Please, set it off this evening.
All right, let's get going. Folks can follow me on Instagram under Gashes2019, on teslasolmok.substacks.com. I'm going to continue with scene 2 of In the Footsteps of Fire. Amidst a landscape ravaged by wildfires and a world in ecological turmoil, Ashka, a coyote on a quest for solace, forms an unlikely alliance with Poop-Oo, a roadrunner. Together they embark on a journey to find Tlaquatzin, a mysterious possum with the power to heal the trauma of the Anthropocene era Along the way, they encounter Moloko, a majestic but misunderstood condor, and discover that in the face of environmental devastation, healing and solidarity are the only paths forward. So scene 2, jumping right in. Fade in, external, Kern County, southern Buena Vista Lake, night. Ashka and Pup walk on the levees of the Kern Canal. This is the last remnants of what the Chumash call Palegua Wanape, known then as place of the big river. Today, a post-thrombotic syndrome, venous insufficient vascular network of canals that once were the Kern River. They crypt us against the foliage weaving through willows, mesquites, palo verde, ocotillo, and the fluffy creosote bush. Ashka bends a willow with his body as he weaves forward. Ashka, watch it. Here's another swishing snapper. The twitch whizzes as it slaps Poo-Poo's scaly feet. Poo-Poo, I told you to cut that out. You tell me not to fall behind, and you trickster me with your woodland mischief. Ashka ignores Poo-Poo. Ashka, keep up, you cuckoo bird. Poo-Poo, if you'd taken my advice about taking the flat roads, we'd be resting by now. Ashka, I know we have been traveling for a while. If we had taken the flat roads, we could have put ourselves in danger. I don't have speed and or flight like you do. Poo-Poo, yeah, but these uneven levees are killer on my feet. And if my feathers were looking scrawly before, I will not be winning any mating dances. Ashka, oh, come on. All you got to do is run around your partner in your ashen territory, flash your feathers, beep, beep like crazy, and throw her a lizard, and you're done. Poo-Poo, oh, shut it. At least mine is short and fast. Yours can go for hours. Really? You're going to impress me? Coyote looks back at Poo-Poo in disbelief. Poo-Poo, first, you sniff each other's butts, then you lick each other's faces, then she leads you around trying to tire you out, making sure you have some endurance. You yip and you yap and you howl like crazy for hours. If you haven't passed out, maybe she'll lay down for you or the next guy who kept up with her. Ashka, all right, you got me there. Ashka pauses and spots a patch of California black oaks by the lakeside. Ashka, look, there, pointing southeast, there's a patch of kuwu. Poo-Poo, finally, I'm assuming your paws must be blistering. I can't conceive you worry about my supple, scaly feet. Ashka, the old coyotes remember when the people would do the first acorn fruit ceremony by these trees. During the cold winters, you see the old ones doing the ceremony to kuwu the trees in the winter solstice. Poo-Poo looks up at the tarnished moon. Poo-Poo, those were the days. They walk over to the patch of oaks, settle around the base of the trees that are covered by a canopy from on top. Ashka, why don't you burrow down and take a load off those scaly sticks? Poo-Poo puts out a comfy pile of decaying oak leaves. Ashka, I'm going to dip my feet in the water for a bit. Maybe I'll spot some dinner for myself. I recommend the acorn worms for you. There are no yellow jackets or mud wasps at this time of the night. Poo-Poo, oh, what a glorious menu. Shh. As the two travelers rest, a random rustle is heard from the tree canopy. Poo-Poo, do you hear that? Ashka, all I hear is the cool water swishing off my blistered feet. Poo-Poo, I think there's someone up there. Ashka, I hope it's something I can eat. Poo-Poo, cut that out and come over here and check it out. Ashka walks out of the lake and shakes his paws and walks towards Poo-Poo as he looks up. Ashka, I think I see a shadow. Ashka begins to jump up at the canopy and yip and yap at the figure. Ashka, are you Chinigvichi, the giant hairy creature with sharp teeth and claws? You live in the dark caves and forests and prey on birds and animals? The startled figure descends and lands by Poo-Poo, and Ashka spreads and flutters its very long wings. Both Ashka and Poo-Poo drop into fighting stances. Moloko, you have also forgotten about me. Like old man Chap, they called me Moloko. These times they call me Volter Griffiths, a name I don't recognize. Ashka and Pupu relax and circle around and inspect this unseen creature on the land. Ashka, we have heard about you, have only seen you far up in the sky. Pupu, and when you come down, no one wants to be around in fear of being taken as carrion. Moloko, my job has always been to clean up Tupu, the earth, keep her from the stench of the dead. I'm known as Death, Silent, Swift, Sigh, the final recycler at the end of the chain of predation. Ashka, don't you normally roost up on the forest peaks and the craggy rocks? Pupu, never seen you roosting in the chaparral. Moloko, yeah, but old man Chap has also raised the unmanaged conservation forest, so my ancient roosting perches are burned to the ground, and all around is ash. Pupu, yeah, we've seen many others who've lost their home territory. Moloko, if both you have lost it too, where are you going? Ashka, this cuckoo believes there's an old possum up in the old Fort Tejon that can help us with old man Chap. He apparently has knowledge of philiac medicine. Moloko, is that so, Roadrunner? In my celestial glidings, I've not seen any such critter. Pupu, oh wow, both you geniuses, it's solophilia. He's a nocturnal critter. Of course you will not see him. Moloko, Sola, what? I love for the whole planet and its inhabitants and a sense of responsibility to take care of it. Moloko, that sounds like good medicine. Ashka, we're heading there tomorrow. We will rest tonight. Moloko, oh, can I join your solophiliac fellowship? Ashka, no, I have one cuckoo bird already. Pupu, yes, you can. There's room for all. I'm sure there will be something you can help with. Moloko, yes, I can be your eyes in the sky, keep you all out of trouble. Pupu, it's settled. Ashka finds a spot by the oaks and grumbles and takes a couple of circular turns and plops down to rest. Ashka, you all better keep up with me tomorrow. Fade out.
Listen, the storytellers are in the building this evening. If you don't know, now you know. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Mr. Tezasomo.
Wow,
Brilliant. Let's talk.
story is just coming along, man. That was awesome.
And the way the story builds itself together is beautiful.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Listen, I told y'all, right? The Starship is underway. And listen, we begin, like I said, storytellers are in the building this evening, all right? Because they are all in here, all right? You will hear from them all this evening. I love how your dialogue between your characters has always been top notch, right? Always. And then now it's, a Roadrunner and this Vulture, right? You had me when you start talking about the Vulture, right? But then the Vulture started speaking, and the Vulture says, I'm known as Dead Silence, the final recycler. Oh, what? Like, you got to come past me, man. Like, it's all coming through me. I love that, right? On this trip, they find a real monster, right? And they're not afraid of it. They're respectful to it. And I think that's such a key thing when we come across things that we are not familiar with, is to not show fear to it, but respect. Thank you, Mr. Tez, for setting us off this evening, as only Mr. Tez can. All right, let's do it. Coming up next, I told y'all storytellers are in the building. Our resident blacksmith is here, Mr. Lighthouse writer himself, the one and only Michael Sindler. Let these folks know how they can connect with you and all the wonderful, incredible things that you do. This cat's the Beat Poet Laureate of Colorado as well. Please, sir, take it away.
Hello, everybody. Always great to be here. I will start the same way I start every time, putting up this little card that says lighthousewriters.org, which is a wonderful, wonderful resource full of workshops and classes and events and all kinds of amazing, great things to help writers at whatever stage you're at and whatever kind of stuff you're doing. I'm going to jump right in. This is the last week. I waited till the last week of it, but this is Suicide Prevention Week. So I'm going to do a poem I do every year. It's weird now. It's like every year. It's like we've been doing this so long. But yeah, so automatic trigger warning. This is called Every Day They Do Not, for Anthony Bourdain. It's not selfishness the day they commit. It's the strength every day they do not. Knowing full well if they give in and quit, it might finally extinguish the thought, the unbearable, unstoppable thought that they struggle with every moment, the trap of despair in which they're caught battling demons only to submit, struggling in search of elusive peace for a moment without acute pain, a solution always just out of reach, a salve to soothe self-imposed shame. It's not lack of concern for those left behind. It's not forgetting or running away. There's a cauldron that churns inside of the mind, a piper that leads them astray, drawn down dark roads by the tug of a song through the discord of their memory, feeling exhaustion from running so long, chasing a distant haunting melody. Some show the signs of impending self-harm. With others, no one could imagine. No actions or statements could cause alarm among relatives, workmates, or close friends. But either blatant or deeply hidden, the disease of depression incubates toward with grimace or deceptive grin what they see as inevitable fate. So don't curse, mock, or hate them for losing the fight, leaving casualties behind in the ring. It's a maddeningly fine line between wrong and right when both life and death promise to sting. There's pain in the wake for those who remain, anger, sadness, remorse, and confusion, wondering just what went on in the brain that determined this tragic conclusion. Don't waste time questioning who is to blame or what you could have done differently. Sometimes nothing can extinguish the flame. Treat yourself and their memory gently. It's not selfishness the day they commit. It's strength every day they do not. When, in the end, the woeful story is writ, love's gift of amnesty isn't for naught. Okay, thank you all, everybody. Take care of each other.
Gift of amnesty is not for naught. Gosh. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Michael Sindler.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, Michael, powerful words. Wow.
Way to go, Michael.
Wow.
Speaking from the heart.
Wow.
What a poet. What a poet.
You know,
I
keep saying so many times about the work, right? We have fun with all these, sweet poems and lofty poems, but it's these types of things that really put your poetic verses through all of the gauntlets, right? To be able to really, really sink all the way into that and really come out with something that's memorable and heartfelt and meaningful, right? I love always when you add music, but you said a piper that leads them astray, right? And it is like that sometimes, how easily we can get lost. And you mentioned the melody, right? And the discord of their memory, right? Sometimes nothing can extinguish that shame, that stain, that spot in their lives that no matter how much you talk about it, it just doesn't go away, right? And as he mentioned in the poem, if you see something like that, if you know the people that you love and you start to see those things, reach out to them, please, right? If If that has ever happened to you or anyone that you know, don't let it happen to anyone else, right? If you know, please make sure you reach out and let someone know. Thank you, Michael Sindler, for always bringing in your heartfelt work. We truly appreciate you. A mainstay of our community, always looking forward to his work. All right, coming up next, Professor Platinum in the building. Loving this cat comes through. It's always in the building, whether he is ripping or not. The one and only Doug Silver is here. Let these folks know where they can find you online. It's always great to see you. Please take it away.
Thank you, Elemental. Great to see and hear you and all the poets, as always. This one's on theme in its way. I wrote it for the Rattle Ekphrastic Challenge for August. Rattle supplied an image of a woman sitting at a sewing machine, and here's what I came up with. At the sewing machine, a mother thinks of her children. 1, while finding the thread to match her sock. The 3 hours always throw me off a bit. 7 p.m. here, then 4 p.m. there. That's a good time to call him. He'll be thinking about dinner, maybe cutting veggies. It's hot there too. Maybe using the grill on the back porch, leaving the oven and the stove off. I need to ask him about that thing I got in the mail from Medicare. Why do they want that info from me now? Is it a scam? Is someone trying to con me? He'll know, he'll help, he always helps. 2, while adjusting the needle to the right height. She'll probably call tomorrow morning. What's going on in her life? So far away. Big birthday party is done. All her friends gone home like they are kids still, but champagne instead of punch. All that laughing, all that drinking, waking up with hangovers, silently promising not to do it again tonight. But then tonight comes around and here we go again and again. 3, while pushing the sock through, careful not to puncture her fingers. And him, so close by, but he hasn't called in years. Haven't seen him in years. Not on my birthday, not on Mother's Day, not on any given day. I've given up hope for that, but not for him. I hope he's doing well and he knows that I love him with a love that will never end. 4, while removing the sock, inspecting her work, and her somehow always last, and so close by as well. Haven't seen her for a while either. What's going on in her life? Why is it the closer they live to me, the farther they are from me? Is it farther or further? Farther is for distance, that's true. Further is for what? Love, thoughts, sadness, time. Then that's true too. The farther from me they are, the closer they are to me. And the closer to me they are, the further they are from me. End poem. Thanks everybody so much. Thank you.
Look at this. You see why we love when this cat comes through? Because he just does it. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Doug Silver.
Unless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good.
I love how you did the further and farther. That was
Thank you,
my,
Sankanto.
Wait.
beautiful.
Really
I
touching.
told y'all, storytellers are in here, right?
Nice.
Listen. And you're right? You said it's on theme in its own way, right? I love that. I never really thought about that. But again, this is why I love poets, right? Said the time difference, of course, when you're calling your loved ones, across the country, that always does that. But it's funny, right? Like when I talk to my mom, right? She's like, oh, were you doing this? Oh, I figured it was about this time and you were doing this. And I got this question and I know that you'll answer it, because if you don't have the answer, you're going to find it, that type of thing. So yeah, those kind of calls are always great. Said they loved him with a love that will never end. I just truly love that, right? That's that family kind of infinite love. And then that the closer they live to me, the further they are from me. Damn, man, that's heavy. Like, that is so weird. Distance, it just doesn't always translate in the connection of families. But they still stay connected for some reason. Thank you, Doug Silver. Again, Professor Platinum is always in the building, showing us love and sharing his energy. Make sure you are plugging in with him. Appreciate you. All right, coming up next, one of the newest authors in our community. I'm gonna ask her now, and I'm gonna ask her again in 6 months, because I want to make sure that y'all hear it. The one and only Vex Lex is in the building. Come on, Lex, let these folks know how they can plug into what you do. Always great to see you. Please take it away.
Shout out to you, Elemental, always for the plug. Thank you. I'm Vex Lex. I have a book out called Ask Me Again in 6 months. You can plug in with me on Instagram at Vexed Lex Poetry. You could DM me for a copy. And also just a quick thing, I'm gonna be featuring in the Bronx October 9th at ID Studio Theater. So you want to plug in with me too on IG to, find out where that's gonna be at, and the free open mic. So we love free. So I'm gonna get into this piece. It's on theme, and I wrote it when I was either 16 or 17. So I'm just gonna get right into it. It's called Child's Burden. Things need to end before you're visiting your mom in the hospital and I'm visiting mine in the pen. You found out your father was a cheater. Now add to that list a wife beater. You told me your parents are trying to get a divorce. Now you and your sister's lives have been thrown off course. He tried to put his hands on you like he did to your mother. Waiting for him to apologize, don't even bother. In my house, my mom was the fighter. Beating on my stepdad would excite her. He's put her through hell. He was never there to catch her when she fell. Ignoring her, constantly dissing her, barely even kissing her. He's just a man that lives here. He ain't worth the money that he gives here. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. You can look into a woman's eyes and tell when a killer is born. And in a few months, his family's gonna have to mourn while he gets acquainted with the ground 6 feet. And I lose my mom to the prison system defeat. Mommy and daddy keep fighting. What are we supposed to do? Sure, they get hit with the fist, but we're hurting too. It's a child's burden to hold the weight of your parents' shit. It's a child's burden to calm the flames that were lit. Your mom was choked. My mom was provoked. But things need to end before you're visiting your mother in the hospital and I'm visiting mine in the pen. Thank you.
Bars. That's called bars. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Vex Lex.
All right, Vex.
Yeah, Vex.
Vex,
Wow.
Vex,
great.
Vex always got
Yeah.
the
Our fair the soul.
Wow.
Fair
Nice
the
job.
soul. Bring it
Vex
here.
is always
Nice
the
job.
BARS.
Yes.
That's it.
Bring it here.
That was nice.
Thank you.
Lex, now you see why I always shout Lex out, because Lex bring it. Shit, every time. A child's burden. I felt that, right? A lot of things that you were mentioning in that poem, I know firsthand, right? And it's just strange what we get from that, right? How much of that still lingers in your blood, how much of that you remember, and just how much it is a child's burden. That's really weird that you brought it there, Lex, but beautifully creative in how you brought it and weaved it into this poem, right? He said, look into a woman's eyes and tell when a killer is born. That's just, that's just heavy shit. They would just leave that there, all right? Leave that there, because moms are just, woo-hoo. Damn, Lex, appreciate you. You heard what Lex said. Make sure you DM her to get that new manuscript. Appreciate you, Lex, a mainstay and a monster on the mic. Appreciate you, Lex, for real. And shout out to BX for hosting Lex, man, for real. Plug in. Y'all can go up there and make sure you do. All right, coming up next, the Megas in the building with all the gusto. The one and only Gustav Solace is here. Come on, Gustav. It is always great to see you, man, and all this energy that you bring. I'm always looking forward to what you bring, Gustav. Come on, man. Let these folks know what it is. Take it away.
All right. Thank you, Elemental and RMT and beloved poets. I consider this one on theme because I've always thought of David Bowie as a member of my family, as I consider all you poets my beloved family. This is Visions of the Future, a cento for David Bowie. We are confronted by two diametrically opposed visions of the future. Under pressure that burns a building down, splits a family in two, puts people on streets. An open, tolerant society that values the rights of all individuals. We can be heroes forever and ever. Or a repressive, intolerant society that devalues women, minorities, and the LGBTQ community. They'll split your pretty cranium and fill it full of air and tell you that you're 80, but brother, you won't care. You'll be shooting up on anything. Tomorrow's never there. Beware the savage jaw of 1984. Fascism is on the march, and we must stand in firm opposition to it. To be insulted by these fascists, it's so degrading, and it's no game. I will fight to my last breath for a brighter future where all people can live free. I demand a better future, or I might just stop wanting you. I might just stop wanting you. Please make sure we get tomorrow. All this pain and all this sorrow. I demand a better future where everyone can express their gender and sexuality as they see fit. Rebel, rebel, you've torn your dress. Rebel, rebel, your face is a mess. Rebel, rebel, how could they know? Hot tramp, I love you so. Where no one who claims to speak for some God can impose their will on us all. I'm afraid of Americans. God is an American. God is an American. I'm afraid of Americans. Where all children can live free from the omnipresent fear of gun violence and death. Young American, he wants the young American. All right, he wants the young American. Do you remember your President Nixon? Do you remember the bills you have to pay? Or even yesterday, where everyone is free to vote and participate in the marketplace of ideas. I'll stick with you, baby, for 1,000 years. Nothing's gonna touch you in these golden years. Gold, where the earth is respected and cherished as truly sacred. For here am I sitting in a tin can, far above the world. Planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do. Will you work for this vision of a brighter future, or will we be led into Gilead's dismal embrace, a jackboot to the face for all eternity? Well, this is not America, sha-la-la-la-la. This is not America, no. Or freedom for all. The choice is as stark and as simple as that. I feel free. I feel free. I feel free. The future is unwritten, so let's write a better one. Thank you all. Love you.
Yo, boy. Oh my goodness. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Gustav Solid.
Love the multiple voices there, bro. For singing and talking to us all. Thank you.
Going hardcore.
Love the switches back and forth.
Outdid yourself.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Vegas is the one to snap.
Yeah. All that. Look, that's actually a form of poetry that I'm working with right now. And man, if this cat didn't do it well, and that's some Bowie swag with it too, man. Like what? One thing I love about your poetry, Gustav, is you go all in. Like you are so fucking head first into your work, man. I love that so much about you because I can hear your heart beating in your work always, even when you're singing, right? He said, beware the savage jaw of 1984. But listen, to me, like this said, I'm afraid of Americans. God is an American. I'm afraid of Americans. God is an American. Look, man, shout out to CC, which we'll hear from soon, right? Musicians, poets, songwriters, right? Lyricists. We just birds of a feather. You know what I mean? Like we all migrate to the music, migrate to the melody. Damn, that's every time you come through and sing, Gustav, it's always on point. Thank you for always coming through with all the energy, all the gusto. Make sure you are plugging in with Gustav Salas, for real. He likes to hang out Friday nights, open minds, open mics. Make sure you plug in with Thompson Catalyst. Coming up next, this gentleman, right? Enjoy when this cat comes through, right? Because his work is just, it's just on point. And you're about to find out why I enjoy when this cat comes through. JT Shannon in the building. Come on, man. Let these folks know where they can find you online. Always good to see you. Please take it away.
Thank you, Elemental. It's great to be here as always. Thank you all so much. This poem I'm gonna read is it's from my book, but it's really on point for the theme today. So just gonna launch into it. It's called Swap Meet Family. Every Sunday morning before the sun rose, we woke and made ready to go to our little church. Holy and reverent and still, ours was an open parking lot, divided into little stalls by thick chalk lines. You had to get there early while it was still dark, or there wouldn't be any stalls left, and packing the van took time. You couldn't pack it the night before because it would get robbed. So we would load the van, then Mom, Dad, and my baby sister and I would head on over. It was a good name for an odd idea, the place where we would meet with others like ourselves, a struggling few. It was a takeover place, a ghost that would sail in every Sunday and possess a drive-in theater, where people would sit in their cars and watch movies on huge screens, but not on Sundays. Sundays, the swap meet took over, and the theater became a mall. The stores were the vans and cars of anyone who had something to sell and could afford a spot. We needed the swap meet like it needed us, because ask anyone who's been on it, welfare and food stamps don't always get you through, and sometimes the mouths you need to feed need more food than you have stamps, and there are more gaps than you have money to fill them. To get us through, my dad followed a time-tested formula. Buy low, sell slightly higher, supplemented by repairing broken things, stereos, VHS, and Betamax, to keep our broken family whirring along for another month. And the key was a place to sell those broken things made whole, so we'd go when it was dark and quiet, pull our little van into a long line waiting to rent our lot, against the blare of a train whose tracks ran nearby, echoing through us, lonely and lost, like a light piercing through fog. Every time I heard that train, I would close my eyes tight and pray silently and forcefully the train wouldn't skip the tracks and run us down. It never did. To this day, I hate the sound of trains. That was Swap Meet Family. Thank you.
Goodness. Oh, that's the damn swap meet. This dude, oh my goodness. Unmute yourself, give it up for JT Shannon.
Hey, JT, man.
Nice.
Just on a streak of fire tonight.
Wow.
Yep. Great.
Poetry. I think you got a new genre.
Yeah, that was not just poetry, but just great storytelling.
Yeah, like cowboy poetry. It's a new genre.
Look, I told y'all, right? The storytellers are in the building this evening. I really love that because it tells a complete story and just from the house to the swap meet, right? And I just love the image of that, right? You called it a ghost that possessed a drive-in theater once a week, right? A place to sell those broken things made whole, right? Good name for an odd idea. It's something about that, right? Even when it's something like that, right? And I would think a lot of folks in this room may know, but some of the folks may watching on YouTube may not know what VHS and Betamax is. Watch Cowboy Bebop. It's just amazing when you can go into those things and kind of tell those stories, because as I tend to say a lot, I love poems with texture. And anytime you mention something like that, it automatically adds texture, 100%. Appreciate you, JT Shannon. Make sure you are plugging in. Listen, I'm telling you, the storytellers are here, y'all. They are here. They do this and do it well. And here's comes some more. I'm telling you, it's like back to back to back on y'all this evening. Oh my goodness. Y'all just get me super excited. All right. Coming up next is another author in our community, continues to hold it down. I continue to say some folks do it, but we do this. Author of Four Crescents. You can't really see it. Come work with me. Boom. Author of Four Crescents, the one and only. Mathematics is in the building. Let these folks know how they can connect with all the wonderful things that you do. Great to see you. Please take it away.
Hey, thank you so much, Elemental. I'm doing my best to show up here every other week so that I can get some FaceTime and get full of the beautiful words that y'all are spitting out here. Anyway, I got this one piece. I'm not sure if it's on theme, but here it goes. The title, Diseducation, Disintegration. This education system, pardon me, I have to start again. Diseducation, disintegration. This education system is actually the killing fields. What does that make the teacher? A fallen victim on the front lines, a target for friendly fire, a soldier doing systems bidding, a warrior defending their village. Where are the reinforcements? Where are the allies? We don't need more generals to strategize an ambush. We don't need more chiefs to give orders and place blame for results. We don't need more bosses to abuse the privilege of being in charge. We don't need more administrators to do the bidding for a system that pushes the marginalized across a make-believe gap that separates ours from theirs. The system provides the teacher with choices from crackers to crumbs, forcing the conscious educator to choose between being the advocate or the traitor. The conundrum between being the fire starter or the firefighter, starting the blaze of thinking or fighting the firestorm started when our babies realize they can think for their own thoughts beyond the four walls of a classroom. Teachers in today's classrooms, like candles in a hurricane, keep the flames burning against the gale force winds of ignorance, burning the wick down, a puddle of melted wax, finding threads of reasons to remold the new candle in time for the next storm, tomorrow's class. How to keep it lit when there's no striker and all the matches are wet. We don't need more leaders chasing the nightmare that will make America great again. We do need more teachers pursuing the dream that will make America whole again. Peace.
Oh, really? Really? Like spoken like a true educator, for real. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Mathematics.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a really, really important poem because not many people crossing that line where the slaver and the slave come together with the healer, the supposed healer that comes in and say, I'm going to rescue you people. It happens in medicine when they stole the DNA from the indigenous tribes and they got the strongest immune system out of them, and then they patented it. I was a cab driver. This is what the MIT students did. Teachers, the same thing. When they went into Africa, the same thing. When they either you're a Christian or you're a dead man and I'm going to kill you. It's the same thing. It's the same indoctrination where the front lines is not the general and not the generals and the politicians' kids. That poem is really important. Take that poem into a school system. See how far you get. For the teacher says,
they're going to keep me at the door.
No, get it in there. There's a school out there. There's art colleges. There's some schools. I'm working on that.
Hey,
listen,
y'all. Listen, real quick. Listen. We can do this all night. We can do this clearly. Listen. First of all, shout out to all the educators. It's one of the hardest jobs in the world to do. it's the least respected, it's one of the least paid, and it's one of the hardest jobs in the world to do. All right. So shout out all the educators, for real. Y'all are amazing. Listen, like CC was saying, that poem is something that needs to be said in every school district, right? Around the world, right? And I love how you put that, man. I just never heard that, right? Again, that's why I love poets, right? Where is their reinforcements, right? If school is the killing field, what does that make the teacher, right? He said we don't need more generals who abuse the privilege of being in charge. What? Like, say you have a choice of being the fire starter or the firefighter. Listen, education is one of those things, right? It's a necessary part of our evolution. And really, teachers, education is the one thing that the government just seems to gloss over real quick, but I think they need to flip some of those wages, right? Put teachers higher up there, pay lawyers what they pay teachers. See how the government changes quickly. Appreciate you, Math. Again, make sure you plugging in with his manuscript as well. Incredible, incredible writer. All right, poet and fencer. Like this dude, black calculus, so many things. All right, coming up next from all the way across the pond. Love when this gentleman comes to hang out with us. Where'd he go? There he is. Okay. The most eloquent writer I know. Again, I keep telling y'all, storytellers are in the building. It's wicked late where he is, but he continues to hang out with us with his eloquent pen. I'm telling you, the one and only Lantern Carrier is here. Let these folks know how they can connect with you, Lantern. It is always great to see you. Please take it away.
Thank you, my brother. The details are in the chat. Their business was hard work on the sugarcane, cotton, and tobacco plantations, ate just about enough to stay alive. Resilience and sacrifice, like the rose and its fragrance, permeates the lifeblood of the family. Endurance and fortitude, like Mount Everest, kept them awake to hold their heads high. Cute and innocent were the children, like ebonies of excellence, like the dawn of new birth. The family as a nucleus has been evolving and regenerating through centuries. Whether we come from Homo sapiens, anthropomorphic beings, or apes, love has woven its own tapestry of seeds, an epoch of genetic blueprints. Black humans have been a majestic and condensed code of this somewhat predatory union, where survival seems more significant than connectedness, greed, pomp, and ceremony more important than lives, values, and visionary dreams. Yet we are still showing aspirations and promise, an ensemble of creativity and genius. Our voices have resonated down centuries of desert and foreign lands, paving a path to innovation and change, an undaunted spirit, an uncanny instinct for survival. This family decorum tells stories of Nubian empires and griots, of toil and struggle, of being the victims of avarice, colonization, and heinous crimes, yet emerging with fireside laughs, a kaleidoscope of dance, joy, merriment, and songs. Our dutiful faces, our spirit of harmony adorns the benevolence of our hearts, the resplendent and timeless beauty of our women, even in the face of adversity, our lilies and rose flower resilience, even in the thickest of thorns. Our people are constantly scribbling psalms to infinitude. The soul's tears are a field of prayer, of forgiveness for the oppressors. Inheriting the wisdom of our ancestors, we've become a virtuous people with respect for grace before meals, cook the most delectable, delicious crab and callaloo, jerk chicken, jollof rice and peas, ackee and saltfish, ugali, fufu, or salsa, and much more. If our ancestors were the shrine, then our women are the deities within, a life force of energy and dance, of beauty and exuberance. Our forebears survived shame in their teens, by callous souls who took advantage of their delicate frames, leaving them with fractured dreams. Yet they coped with challenges, took up the diligent task of reshaping their journey. Like the weaver and clay, they molded and shaped our women to become the empresses and elegant beacons of light, major contributors to human excellence and the family which they are today. I look lovingly at these robust queens, symbolic of fragility and struggle, like a butterfly on its cocoon, with dignity and love painted on their faces. Their simplicity and grace, their affectionate arms around each other, create a radiance not unlike moons and stars. I reminisce, remembering the roots I came from, a blueprint from a generation of genes, of music and song, Negro spirituals that stirs the spirit, jazz, rhythm, and blues of Africa, the heart of my existence. I bow, fold my hands in gratitude, paying homage to the light divine. Lantern Carrier, thank you.
Oh, y'all about that eloquent pen. That dude just does this. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Lantern Carrier.
Lantern Carrier.
The exquisite pen of Lantern Carrier.
Got that right.
Lantern is a prophet. So,
Not to mention making us hungry with that good
sometimes they're
African.
poets and they're prophets. So there's poets, then there's prophets, and then there's Lantern.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh. Mystics.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna try some of that food he's talking about too.
Hey, come on, look, come on, y'all. Y'all are amazing. Listen, and all this is being recorded, right? If you missed it, go back and watch the YouTube. It's streaming live right now. Listen, I continue to say this, right? And I said, like I said, it's wicked late where Lantern is, right? But he continues to do this. I was just thinking, like, man, like when this dude goes off into meditation, like I wonder who you convene with, right? Like you convene with constellations, man. Like you do something different, man. Your connection is to something very pure. And I thank you for sharing it with us on a regular basis, right? You said we live in a time where survival seems more important than togetherness, right? You mentioned the epoch of genetic blueprints, right? When you start talking about food, man, you got everybody, right? He mentioned the jerk chicken, the jollof rice, the fufu, and then Zonkonto was like, yo, he said sanza, like that's Zimbabwe food. Like I just love that. Again, we're across the world, and we bring in all those different spices into our poetry just to make it that much more delectable. Thank you, Lantern, for staying up with us and always sharing your brilliance with us. Truly, truly appreciate you. Truly. Let me shout out a couple folks before we move on. I saw Mia Aguilera. What's up, Mia? Always good to see Mia in the building. Melinda Lucas was in here. Mr. Speaker, what's good? Been too long, man. 757 in the building. Marsha Rivera, Miss Brimlow herself in the building. Been too long, Marsha. For real. Of course, keeper of concrete, CP Mays in the building. What's good, Mays? I saw Tammy Zhao. Appreciate you for coming through. Aaron Fitzgerald. I saw Bridget King. Loveline Paia. Naya Crockett was here. Greg Marino. And Benjamin Vea was here too. Appreciate all y'all. None of these folks are actually ripping tonight, but they have come to share their energy with the crew and the community. Truly appreciate y'all for hanging out this evening. Really. All right, let's keep it going. This next poet, I've caught him in a spot playing some Chopin, right? I like to call him our resident micro triptych travel agent because he always takes us on one. And this may be one, may not be, but I'm telling you, it's going to be a ride of incredible poetry. The one and only Nemo Sue in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online. Nemo, always great to see you. Please take it away.
Thank you so much, Elemental. And wow, fire poetry tonight. I just put my information in the chat. I am going to share a micro triptych with you this evening, and it is on theme. One last time, past the playground where I realized that I was alone. One more time round the wheel where I played, creating companions in my head. And I'll miss them, my phantom friends. But I need to grab the handles on my bike one last time. Use the pedals to push my way past the bullshit and into the blissful ignorance of something that doesn't know, that doesn't have to know about being an adult, about being betrayed in love, about being collateral damage, about being used as a weapon, hardened like a bunker buster. Because I remember how my mom told me the words I should say to my dad when I was 6. And she was angry when I got it wrong, like a little boy would. I saw a vision of my parents as I imagined them as a child, like smiling ghosts at the end of the film. All was good and all was forgiven. And my heart leapt like finding home at last, like recognizing the face of a loved one, like something real, instead of phantoms, instead of the dreams of little boys, instead of something I created to try to make some sense of the pain of a broken family. Sometimes the people who hurt us are monsters. Sometimes the final stage of grief is rage. Thank you.
That rage. Oh, damn. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Nemo2.
Nemo, you have a gift.
Landing. Wow. Final word.
Wow.
Wow.
Extraordinary poem. Incredibly
Brilliant.
powerful.
Nice.
Just-
He's a beautiful example of how no one should ever try to compete with anyone else. You are where you are. In your,
well said,
CC.
CC.
That was the
he
way
was
to
right.
end.
You are in your genie. Bring your gift here.
Yes.
What a
Thank you so much,
Right.
everyone.
I keep telling
glad to
y'all
call-
this is the greatest community in the world. And they keep showing you why. Whether it be in their poetry or in their complete and true affection for their community members, right? This is pure. This isn't pre-recorded. We didn't have like a pre-production meeting where I gave everyone their script, said, oh no, Zonkondo, you're supposed to say this right here, and CC, you say this over here, Michael Sindler, you say this over here. This is coming from their genuine poetic heart, people. This is real, right? These people are sharing a true piece of themselves, right? A true piece of themselves. He said, I'll miss them, my phantom friends, right? But I got to get on my bike and push my way past this BS, right? Even though it's some that we weren't ready for, right? About being betrayed in love, right? Being collateral damage, right? Hardened like a bunker buster. Like, come on, man. When your mom coaches you and you get it wrong, she got angry because I got it wrong, right? I also heard a poem recently that Nemo2al did about a trip he took. I like to call it the dungeon. A friend of mine likes to call it the spa. You come out of there very different, you know? So thank you for being as vulnerable as you have been, Nemo, and telling your absolute truth. Truly, truly appreciate that, really. It makes a difference. Make sure you are plugging in with Nemo2al. All right. A couple more poets and we're gonna pass it off to Ron Mark Thompson. Coming up next, went outside today and was delighted by this incredible piece of work. This next poet is about to do something that he normally does. Also shout out the Beat Poet Laureate, who was also featured on this. Listen, I told y'all the storytellers were in the building, and here comes another one I like to call the Vincent Price of poetry, the one and only Ike Waltz in the building. Let these folks know how they can connect with all of your incredible work and what's upcoming. Always great to see you, Ike. Please take it away.
Thank you, Elemental. My mother's business was more. I never understood what it meant. My father's business was fuck. Pretty obvious. The family business is called the black sheep of consolation, number 1. And now, Bonanox or good night to those who should not listen to this. Yes, my friends, I talk about the sound of Johannes Chrysostomos Wolfgangus Theophilus Mozart, or Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, who happened to be born 266 years ago, 20 years before the Declaration of Independence. Mozart, or the American Mozart, loved words almost as much as he loved music. There are tons of written evidence to choose from. However, nothing is taught or even mentioned in schools, in concert halls, and in the sanctuary of a church. As a matter of fact, Mozart's writing is not only conveniently, not only religiously, but also legally swept under the rug. Why? He wrote what was on his mind, often pathological, unfiltered, and this unfiltered mind made him a genius in music and a villain in spoken word. Mozart hated to be a lackey of his time. Hence the movie Amadeus. Let me quote a typical example of Mozart's actual writing, translated into English, of course. I quote, "Lick my ass nicely. Lick it nice and clean, nice and clean. Lick my ass. That's a greasy desire, nicely buttered, like the licking of a roasted meat. There will be lick more than 2. Come on, just try it and lick, lick, lick. And now everybody licks his own ass himself." End of quote. Now, translated into American, surely by now Mozart would have written an opera comique called Donald's Lick, containing a popular Trumpian aria sung by the Republican Party chorus, chanting the following: "We lick his ass nicely, we lick it nice and clean. Yes, nice and clean, we lick his ass. That's our greasy desire, nicely buttered, like the licking of a roasted pussy. Republicans do lick better than Democrats. Come on, join the devoted Republicans and lick and lick and lick until the Constitutional whitewashes every overrated Trumpster's dick. And now we, the people, are ready to lick not only his ass, but successfully licking our own ass and ourselves. It's so fucking yummy. Should you experience the hemorrhoidal itch, don't worry, lick it. My advice, this itch is, after all, considered presidential privilege. This aria prompted me to write my first and only American serenade, and I dedicated my composition to the F major key. Ladies and gentlemen, Bonanox. Without further ado, let me recite my Salzburgian Mozarteum serenade composed in the popular Trumpian F major key. The word is out. You hear it everywhere, repeated multiple times by almost everyone. And 3 words say it all. We are fucked. Eine kleine F-Musik Serenade number K69 in a stormy F101 major bottom slapping opus X, rated for a brief 4-minute golden shower. Arranged by the great undercover hand grenade Hieronymus Giuliani, based on eine kleine Fuck-Music by Mozart. Let me serenade, Unit 1. The King's Charles stiff upper lip. Fuck, 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 fuck. Here's a good chap. Have a jolly good rumpy-pumpy. Minute 2. The German Kaiser. Mutti, tutti, frutti, fick, 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 ihr Liebling. Ja, ja. Minute 2.5. The French Revolution. Mon Dieu. Fick, 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 fick. Oh la la, voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Anyhow, fake news. I made this one up. Minute 3, the great 2024 West Wing dump. Dump, thump, 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 thump. Spank, thump, 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 thump. Jump over the Mexican wall, and nudie stormy will soften his fall. Minute 4, the Silicon Valley binary intercourse. 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01. My geeks, 01 is not what I call a fuck. I call it that itsy bitsy rubber plunder knuckle under Boy Scout slumber party key number. Hi, Nuyorican poets. Did I interrupt my digital coitus in time? You see, it's not Mozart, but it's Mozart that fits us all. Thank you.
Yo, you're not gonna be serenading AI in here like that, man. This dude is incredible. Unmute yourself, give it up for Ike. Whoa!
Yeah, Ike. Wow.
That
Is
was
another
like a
level
whole
of
opera
daring.
there.
That was
Another
amazing.
level of daring that
I've
takes
never
words
heard
to
that
a
Mozart
different
shit
space.
before.
Dude.
That was a side of Ike we've never heard before. I'm glad you said no censorship at the beginning, Elemental.
Even beyond that, even beyond that. Okay, look. This is how much it's ingrained in what we do. He said, okay, this is where, in the beginning of his poem, he said, this is where those who shouldn't be listening should go to bed. He's right. And then he commenced to doing his own DJ Ike mashup, right? With fucking Mozart and Amadeus, and like, man, like, I can't believe it. Like, he said, translated, it's lick my ass clean, lick it good, lick his ass nicely. Like that's our greasy desire. Come on, man. Like, did you just call a hamburger his greasy ass? Like, is that what that was? Like, golly. He said it's so fucking yummy. Oh my gosh. I just, man, listen. First, he started off with giving us a history lesson, right, about Mozart being born 266 years ago. He said he almost loved words more than music. His unfiltered mind made him a genius in music. A genius, being unfiltered, being untethered by what the status quo said we should be as artists. Because then you get the fuck sonata in Trumpian F major by the one and only Ike Waltz. Appreciate you, Ike. That was genius, man. Like, you just took the F word and just went, fuck the F word, fuck the F barrier. Like, let's just go. Appreciate you, man. For real. That's what poetry is about, y'all. I warned y'all from the jump. All right, man, that dude did something else. I told y'all storytellers in the building. Let's keep it going. Coming up next, our resident musician is in the building. You already heard him thumping and bumping on him, and he's about to bring some more of it. The one and only CC Arshagra is here. Come on, CC. Let these folks know what it is, man. Always great to see you. Please, take it away.
Okay, Arshagra, CC Arshagra. That's the website. This book is there, and I just uploaded the thing where you could download just the thing, just the PDF thing, whatever it's called, and I put it for $3.33. I never know how to price that shit. So that's at ccrshagra.com, and a bunch of stuff's there. I got to update it. I just did a couple of live events. I did one last night. In Collinsville, I made money reading poetry the other day. I got paid. If you got a local library and you go to your town hall and you got nothing happening in your town, say you want some money to produce an open mic and they might give you some coin, you can pay the poet. It can happen. That's okay. So anyway, and then I'm studying piano with this Ridley guy online, and then they wrote back because he simplified the piano down to like. They've been teaching it wrong for 300 years. It's like, that's all fucking complicated. Nobody learns. And so he stripped it down, and they wrote back and I go, you remind me of my very first poem I ever wrote, Simply Complex. They wrote back saying, we want the poem. So I sent them, there is a choice what to be and what to see as what you perceive. So let the flow within you be and always crave infinity. I wrote that as a 17, 18-year-old and didn't start writing again till in my 20s. I found that in the back of an old notebook. So when I miss playing piano, I think about this the most. And I just love this little ditty. This is The Parenting of Life. Parenting of Life. A woman. This is the highest art form, and the abuse of innocence is the highest crime. And I believe the only way to rise is to always fall true and never be above you. And I believe forgiveness is a mirror. You need no fist, word, or hammer to break reasons into blame. And I belief must not fear dying. And you should never fear to ask a naked, honest question. And I believe that being wrong is a blessing. And when you still don't know the answer, the law of love is one. And I believe in the parenting of life. And no one owns a woman. No one owns a child's love.
That dude just does that for real. Unmute yourself. Give it up for CCR Chagra.
I love the song, but that
Wonderful.
last line, nobody owns a woman, nobody owns a child's love. That
Very
is
good.
something to live
Very
by.
good.
Wow.
Poetic, so imaginative, and so transformative.
Kondo, love you guys, love you all. All your words, all your
Terrific,
gifts,
CC. Yeah.
all your original selves.
There's something about that. Who said that? Michael Sindler. He pushes so much emotion into each line. You know, that is also what drew me to music, right? Is because music can take it, like poetry, right? No matter how heavy the emotion is, no matter how loud you need to scream at it, no matter how much emotion you need to force into it, music is ready for it. Poetry is ready for it, you know, because it can hold it, because it can hold that weight. And that song, there's so much to that song, right? And you got everybody right with that poem that you wrote. He said when you were like 17 or 18, right? Always crave infinity. Indeed, right? I think it may have morphed into, you know, always craving creativity is kind of where we are at these points, these times. But no, that was heavy. You also said in the song, you said, you don't need a hammer to break reason into blame. And never fear to ask a naked, honest question. I think that's why we do what we do, right? Because we are approaching those difficult things with our eyes wide open and wanting those emotions and those feelings so we can translate it into poetry. Thank you. Thank you, CC. I'm telling you, that cat, he's not, sometimes he's like, oh, I'm not really sure if I'm a musician or a poet, or he's got a poetry book about the open mic and he comes through and he rips his music. Like, I don't know what you want to call him other than a creative. That's CCR Chagra, for real. Appreciate you, CC. Make sure you plug me in with CCR Chagra and all he does. Coming up next, atmosphere rearranger, storm gods in the building. This cat just does this. He always changes the atmosphere, and we love when he comes through because he just does it. The one and only Zoom Conto is here. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. It is always great to see you. Come on, brother. Take it away.
Yeah, sorry that I couldn't, because I thought my background was crazy because I'm using the phone today. Because my laptop was kind of acting up. But I wrote to theme. So this is my take on family business. My first taste of family was a genocide. They tied my aunt's twin after they lied about her identity and she was pregnant, possibly with twins. So the other twin was bionated to pull those babies out like nothing happened. She was never the same ever since. So family business to me is trying to convince my son the world is a safe place to be black while protecting him from snakes and those that are more familiar to me. Family business is counting a few coins to pay for someone's life that they can easily live on their own, but you are African. You are an African kid in the diaspora, so the horror of your everyday hustle is forever lost to them. But what is not lost to you is how those coins were discovered by you while dying over and over because they crushed your ribs while all you needed was to breathe. Family business is MLK catching an AK-47 bullet when all he needed was to come back to his family, but death will always disrespect our family ties. So I keep my friends close and my family closer. so that I see how they compose their love and know that they are not my enemy. Family is a long-standing business with addresses and open ledgers, but we all know what happened to Heath Ledger. We can trust toxicology reports all we want, but true love could have saved him. I want a family that is not simply business, but whose business is loving me. Because a family of snakes ain't nothing but venom. My grandmother told me the best thing you can ever do is forgive them. Imagine when my aunt's twin was tied to that tree and the bayonet was right in front of her. She thought to abort her child in horror because of family. In her last moments, she must have thought the family business is too dangerous, probably stared at her twin long and hard, because to look exactly like family must be the hardest pain anyone can see. They say I had my grandmother's smile, but my smile today woke up in her grave. Some corn.
Damn it, I told y'all. Unmute yourself, give it up for some conto.
Love you, man.
Incredible piece. Wow.
Not the first one to take survival and see what it does to love and the family ledger line. It's I've been doing this forever. I have always said I will always choose love over survival no matter what.
Because
it's a different way of saying the same thing.
Love comes first always. Thank you for all that came before me and shared their poetry with me. I love you the same.
It's a powerful phrase. Big love to your grandmother.
Listen. I warned y'all from the jump, right? Some people do this. We do this. All right. Praise to the ancestors. This cat comes through and he just, like, again, as I told you, he's an atmosphere rearranger, right? He said, my first taste of family was genocide. And I told y'all before Mr. Ted touched the mic, I hope y'all got all your 5-point harnesses, your extra heavy duty helmet on, because it's Monday night. Like this, I know it's football season and shit, but this Monday night, this is where you really need your hats. You know what I mean? For real, because it's been that from the jump. It's just been what it's supposed to be, right? Counting a few coins to pay for someone's life, right? How those coins were found by you, right? But you're African, you're forever lost to them, right? You said death will always disrespect our family ties. Golly, that's so heavy. You know what I mean? It's death don't give a damn about color, about money. It's coming for everybody. A family of snakes ain't nothing but venom. Come on, man. Like y'all killing me with these quotables this evening, for real. Like, yeah, y'all on it this evening, for real. He said, people say I smile like my grandmother, but my smile woke up in her grave this morning. Man, I love how you love your family and how you share them with us. It's always powerful, and we always appreciate it. Whew, the one and only is on Conto, y'all. All right, before we move on, I'm going to pass it to the dopest tech in the Zoomverse, the one and only Ron Mark Thompson, a.k.a. RMT. You're not down with RMT by now, damn it, you should be. Ron, how you feeling this evening?
Goodness, I am feeling okay. What a powerful evening, and a very powerful theme. Listening to family business, I am just in awe. That was amazing, having heard all these incredible poems until now. So thank you, everyone, for, even though you are not required to write to the theme, thank you so many of you for writing and being brave. So that was just amazing. Wow, what a powerful Monday. Hello, everyone. I am Ron Mark Thompson. I am one of the program and operations assistants at the New York Poets Cafe, and I also work as your tech assistant in person and online, in which you are currently in the Monday night online open mic, which is presented and hosted by Elemen2al every Monday evening. And Thursdays, we have our Thursday night online open mic hosted by La Brewer, except last and this week. Thank you everyone for coming out to be with Finn Bell, our guest host last week. And as Elemen2al already mentioned, I will be your guest host this Thursday in a very interesting reversal, because Elemen2al will be running the Zoom controls on the back end, so he will be my tech assistant before we will revert to our usual roles next week. And next week, La Brewer also will be back. So thank you everyone for coming out to support us. Please come and support me on Thursday. Sign up if you want to read on Wednesday, 24 hours before 9 p.m. Eastern time on our ticket site. But Thursdays, as you may remember, we also have a good luck round. If for any reason you miss signing up or every performance spot is already taken, just come on anyway and we will add you to the good luck round. Our executive director, La Brewer, also curates and hosts Beatniks online. In the chat, I'm going to put a reminder. We use the same recurring Zoom IDs on Mondays and the same different but recurring on Thursdays. And if you missed any of the Monday or Thursday or the Wednesday Beatniks shows, you can go back to our Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, aka X pages, and there you can play back any of our past editions. Everyone who is watching us at the moment via YouTube, Facebook, or X, Twitter, hello, and thank you for supporting us virtually, and stop by Zoom if you can, especially if you want to participate and read. So thank you everyone. Also, especially for the newcomers, the New York Poets Cafe is a physical building as well. We've been in this building here on this photo for over 40 years in our 50 years existence, which is on East 3rd Street in Manhattan, New York City. We will be closing this specific building after October 31st for a 3-year renovation. New York City has given us a grant and they will be doing the construction. Of course, we will continue online and we will be traveling around New York City in different venues to bring you weekly programs. Stay tuned. We will give you more details after October. But as Elemen2al mentioned at the beginning, at least for another 5 weeks in our building on East 3rd Street, we will continue our regular weekly programs, which in addition to the online open mic on Mondays is also the on-site open mic. Tonight is hosted by Rice Felicia. Next week it's hosted by Soul Preem. They alternate each week, 8 p.m. And there you can perform anything you like, whether it's comedy, song, poetry, storytelling. You are welcome to stop by and rock on the stage. Wednesdays is the Wednesday Night Poetry Slam. This week will be hosted by J Rose. I will be working in the tech booth in the cafe at 8 p.m. In the cafe. You also, one of our free programs where you can watch us via Zoom, the Wednesday Night Poetry Slam, you can get a ticket for Zoom, not for performing, but to watch and cheer everyone on. That one is taking place, by the way, every Wednesday except the first Wednesday of the month. Next Wednesday, next week will be October 4th, and that one will be our last edition of the Women's Orator Wednesday, aka WOW, and that one will be hosted by La Brewer. So stop by if you can. I know some of you already have gotten your tickets in advance. Friday night, Jive Poetic, 10 p.m. poetry slam every Friday, followed by the Friday night twilight hour open room, open mic hosted by Chauvet. Also tomorrow in person in our cafe, 7 p.m., we will have a film screening of Day and Night, which is a Polish film. The two filmmakers, Lugosz and Katarzyna, will be in-person present, and after the screening they will stay for a question and answer Q&A with the audience. Also this week, Saturday, it is back, Voices and Vibes, our vocal open mic hosted by Paul Concasso. You can bring either your original music on tracks or you can sing to karaoke. This will be in person only, not in Zoom. I'm sorry about that, but if you can make it, only $5 tickets. You can scan the QR code or go to our ticket calendar site. You may already purchase your tickets. We will also have one more Voices and Vibes in October 14th, which is also a Saturday, 8 p.m. Next month, on East 3rd Street, right in front of our cafe, the Loisaida Center will be hosting their fall festival from 2 to 6 p.m. on Saturday, October 7th. Now, we are not hosting it. We hosted our block party last month in August. But because it is on our street, of course, we will be present with a table from the New Rican Poets Cafe, with merchandise, with information. There will be programs inside the cafe as well on that day, including in the evening. Rome Neal, he is our board of directors chair. He will be celebrating with us, the audience, the 20th anniversary of his Banana Pudding Jazz Band, and he will also bring his self-made banana pudding. And he will also use this show on Saturday, October 7th, to celebrate the life of Ron Cephas Jones, an actor who just passed away a few weeks ago. Some of you may know him from the television show This Is Us, and he is no stranger to the New Rican Poets Cafe. He was in many performances there years ago, so Rome Neal will be reflecting on his life and celebrating his life. That's Saturday, October 7th. Get your tickets online in advance or come at the door. Also next month, La Brua will be bringing back one last time her stage play from Puerto Rico on Saturday, October 21st at 7 p.m. When Elemen2al visited New York City, he had a chance to see her stage play back in June. And he can tell you it was an amazing experience. La Brua wrote it and acts in it herself. It's just amazing. If you haven't seen it yet and you're in New York City, come and see it. Jazz Greer is returning one last time, Thursday, October 26th. We just had a Jazz Greer show last week. Next one is, again, October 26th, 7 p.m. Tickets are only $5. And in addition to jazz music, Kenny, our bartender, also will serve you sangria. So come on out if you can make it. Then Salsa Jam last Sunday of the month. We just had one yesterday. I was in the tech booth. If you're following us on Instagram, you may have seen some of the stories and videos that La Brua posted to her Instagram as well as to the cafe's Instagram page. And Salsa Jam will return one last time on October 29th, 7 p.m. And then the last but not least, our 50th anniversary celebration, which our 50th birthday of the New Rican Poets Cafe exactly is on October 31st, which also happens to be Halloween. So we will be combining our anniversary with Halloween, a custom ball. We will have performances, music, DJ, games, prizes from 10 p.m. in the evening all the way through 3 a.m. on November 1st. You already may purchase your tickets online. This will be the last time the current building will be open before we shut it down for reconstruction. So if you're in New York City, please come visit us. For any and all of these events, go to our ticket calendar. You can go to our website, newrican.org, click on full events calendar, choose the date and time, and get your tickets in advance or just buy them at the door. Obviously, for the online events, you can only get them online, just like you got your either artist RSVP or viewers RSVP ticket here to be with us here in Zoom tonight. Also, if you want to be on our mailing list so you will not miss any of our events, just scan the QR code, or I just pasted it in the Zoom chat as well, the link to the mailing list, as well as all of our other links to contribute, donate, our website, our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages, and our link tree. Again, it's in the Zoom chat and it's currently on the screen. If you're watching it via the live stream video playback, just pause it so you can write it down. So thank you again, everyone, for supporting us and, to keep coming back here. And on that note, it is time now to return to our next performer, which is Sri-Lal. And if I remember correctly, because several of you mentioned in the Zoom chat this evening that you are educators, some which I didn't realize you were. I believe Sri also works in the education field, which I know because she and I attend a Sunday Writers online meetup group where we motivate and inspire each other to write and give feedback and constructive criticism to each other. I know I wasn't there yesterday, Shri, but I'm sure you had a good time there. Welcome back, and let's hear from you. The next 3 minutes are all yours.
Thank you, Ron. It's great to be here. And Elemen2al and all poets for your inspiration. Wake this night beneath the star bearer. I am beyond what you imagine yourself to be. You surrender in the river. I appear, I disappear. I am not who you want me to be. See your own face in the full and pale moon. I was born of light before the first infant cry. Do not seek me with the ruby sun at dawn. As I am yours, so I belong to all. You are beyond water or moon lily. You are beyond the dung fire fed on jasmine bloom and ghee. Hear my voice in the language of the hand drum. See my face in the luminous mango trees. Tonight, monkeys swing wild for ripe fruit along the riverbank. Do not despair. Be it day or night, the hour they cease, I will return.
Woo! Powerful, powerful. Everyone, please unmute yourself. Give it up for Sri-Lal.
Beautiful.
Oh man,
Beautiful.
that's beautiful.
Wow.
I want to thank all the people that have actually invited me into the class but couldn't get past the board.
That was great writing.
Damn.
Just amazing, just amazing. God, yes, I wish we could take all classes with you, Shri, and all the other educators. You guys are just amazing. I'm so glad Shri joined us a few months ago and is now one of our many mainstays here. Thank you so much, Shri, for supporting and coming back to us every Mondays and Thursdays. We really, really appreciate you. All right, and another educator coming up next, which, if I read the Zoom chat correctly, you are also in the education field. If that is true, welcome back, Mariana, zooming in from the islands in the Caribbean. Glad you're here. The next 3 minutes are all yours. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Ron Mark. Nice to see you, Elemen2al and Poet friends. Absolutely astonishing work tonight, and I am on theme. I'm also sharing Michael Sindler's theme. I wrote this poem for someone whom I absolutely adore. The business of family is to hold the phone line open all night, even when you are more afraid than you have ever been in your life that these will be the last words you have. And this poem is called The River. Come with me to the river, where the shale steps break the current and our feet slide only a little. Together, we will move like Walendas, toward the gentle blanket of clover on the other side. We will turn over every leaf. We will look beneath every green tuft. I will help you seek the one you lost. As the waxing crescent smiles to illuminate our path, it may be we find each other. Thank you, everyone.
Amazing as always. You know what this woman does. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Marianne Taylor.
Thank you.
Love and
I
healing.
love the
Yeah.
Valinda's line because
Yeah.
you have to actually stay on balance to be with someone. That was beautiful, Wanda.
Can you believe how many poets bring their, in real time, they're breaking and healing souls at the same time and write them down and then bring them here while they're still on the tightrope? Fucking gifts, man. You people are gifts. I love you.
You are.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Wow.
everyone.
Why I continue to say this is the greatest community in the world for things like that. Like you said, CC, these things aren't even hard yet, right? One of my favorite movies is Spawn, right? And when his armor first comes together, right, the clown goes, don't mess with it until your armor hardens, right? It's not even fully solidified yet, but we bring it here, right? Because this is, it's your family. Right? I know I say it's community, but this really is our family. It's the only time that you can really, really be yourself, right? How many people in our circles know that we really, really do this like this? And if they don't know, I implore you to bring them, right? Because sometimes it can be chaotic and loud and crazy. And then sometimes, like Marianne said, it could be like a gentle blanket of clover, right? Calm and soothing. Just recently, Marianne said that it was a storm that came through her island. And by the time she got from one end of the causeway to the other, it was gone, right? Things happen so fast sometimes, right? But there's always lessons in it. Thank you, Marianne, for always coming through and sharing your incredible work with us. As Ron said, shout out to all the incredible educators. You guys are just amazing from every angle. Thank you for all that you do, truly. One more time, y'all, before we move on, unmute yourself. Give it up for Ron Mark Thompson.
Ron, we love you. Love you.
RMT, who's down with RMT? Every last homie.
You guys, thank you. Come on, Elemental, let's move on to the next performer here. You guys are just amazing. Thank you.
Let him go.
Of course. Listen, this really wouldn't work like this without Ron. Really, I appreciate you, Ron. Everything that Ron does is for the betterment of what we do, and he keeps us afloat and moving forward at top speed. So I appreciate you, Ron. All right, let's keep it moving. Coming up next, shout out PGN in the building. This incredible writer, he gives so much of himself to his poems. And then he happens to be such a crazy, wicked writer, right? I just happened to come up on the post, Frog. I'm going to jump in on there with you, too. The one and only Frog Corpse is in the building. Prepare yourself as this cat gets down. Come on, Frog. Let these folks know how to connect with you, man. Take it away.
Oh, my name is Frog Corpse. If you want to find me, you'll find me. All right, I'm going to hit you with this one, and then I'll hit you with a heritage poem. I pondered in the evening as the September sun ceases on what it would mean to be in your arms. I thought of its night, on how the stars would align while wrapping our fingers in love. Would Aphrodite cry by your striking eyes, knowing I am not hers to keep? For your beauty alone casts the stone, crafting a sinner out of me. To invoke this confession, O goddess, I profess this, for your words, they rack me with grief. For the less that you say is the hell that I pay, when it is you all the more that I need. This virulent spell by your vulpine stare, a brine-eyed charm to amorous dreams. If blessed with a moment, your touch, us holding, death would be well worth the sleep. In the face of all odds, you're the face I fall on, as your smile is my calming sea. Do not mistake this expression as an act of obsession while I'm rowing in the waters of grief. I pondered in the evening as August went leaving on what it would mean to enter your heart under late night coals over a beautiful soul diving deep into your gleaming iris. All right, heritage poem. This is called, let me see if I can remember it. Parenting 101, the closing. I remember mom's screams, door slamming, bed sheets burning, the damning, door frame splintered on concrete, peeled out on pillows in front of TV. The missing head of a Messiah hung from ceiling. I turned it upside down in my room, revealing my true calling, the ante. Put the cigarette out and killed the smoke screen. For the father I knew, he was too busy. He carried the robe of some rich king. So I say fuck a Monday through Friday in your work week. Fuck your taxes, your checks, and fuck the weekends. As I said my goodbyes to my old friends. No music, no art, and no pen. These poisoned words are now spoken. 30 years later, I'm still hoping as the rancor and the rage waits until the closing. Thank you.
This guy, I'm trying to tell y'all, this dude just does it. Unmute yourself, give it up for Frog Core.
Killing it,
Love
man.
your pen,
Just
man.
killing
Yeah,
it.
Frog.
That was an
That
intricate.
love poem. That's
That was an
you
intricate.
got to be willing to die for love, or you're
That
not doing
poem
it right.
was so
You know?
gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of love and death going on in this.
Yeah, you got to just
tonight.
go ahead and risk it all, and then die and get up and love again. Because the other way don't work. That's good work.
Yeah, love is a ring-naked dove that flies always.
Yep.
See what happens? See what happens when the energy starts flowing? This is why I said at the top of the show, make sure you are sharing your energy with the room, right? Right? Zomkoto trying to get a freestyle cipher jumping off in here, man. I'm telling you, this is how the creativity flows. I absolutely love it, right? I'm thinking about doing something else after that. I'll get to that later. Listen, Frog reminds me of the reincarnation of like the T.S. Eliot's of the world. Right? Like the Edgar Allan Poes of the world, like just the way that you deliver, the way that you write your poetry, Frog, it just reminds me of that, right? Just the purest of poetry, man. And then you're just sinister in the best of ways when how you write it, you know? Like fuck your taxes and your checks and your weekends, right? What it would mean to own your heart, right? Your smile is my calming sea. The less you say is the hell I pay. Right? Crafting a sinner out of me. Like, come on, Frog. Like, for real, man. That dude just does it. Keep telling y'all the storytellers are in the building. Appreciate you for coming through, Frog. Make sure you are plugging in with Frog Corpse and all that he does. For real. That cat also just dropped a manuscript not too long ago. Plug in with Frog Corpse. For real. That cat's incredible. All right, coming up next, a mainstay of our community, right? A keystone of energy in our world. On his first book, Light, Shadow, Life is a Key in All Our Lives. His second book, Let's Unmesh Life, is on the rise. He hosts his own open mic by the same name. The one and only Unmesh Mohitkar is here. Please let these folks know how they can connect with you and all the incredible things that you do. Unmesh, great to see you. Please take it away.
Hey, Elemental. Hello, everyone. I'm Unmesh Mohitkar, and I've got Facebook and Instagram, Unmesh Mohitkar. I've got an open mic, Let's Unmesh Life, every Friday, 11:30 a.m. New York time. That is 9 p.m. India time. Here we go. So I'm on topic. Our ancestral home was empty, dilapidated. It is lonely. In my childhood, I have seen celebrations and events here. It did not age well. This was our home for generations. We don't even remember when we came here. 80% of the village has our surname, related to us in some way. We are farmers. My father still is, though he was a teacher as well. We are proud, hardworking, and emotional people, with friends from all walks of society, with a firm belief that education has the power to change life. One crucial thing you need to be a farmer is patience. Every year, you give birth to new crops. When summer comes, the crops are cut and the land becomes barren again. Looking at the empty land, you should have confidence in yourself, weather, rains, government, people, and whatnot, that the land will grow the food for your family. Too many moving pieces. Easier to go to Mars than waiting for rains when seeds are planted. Rain is a friend, but when it floods, the friend turns into a foe. When the crops are ready, we pray that rains will not come. Risking it all every year with no food to eat for children is crazy. Calmness and fortitude runs in our veins. We try to fight for the right, but our fight is with ourselves to get better. Sometimes we succeed. Most of the times we fail. Failure has never stopped us from trying the impossible. Our beliefs in good are always tested, but we survive to see another crop, to be useful in some way to somebody, to be useful in some way to somebody. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
That damn Umesh does it every time. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Umesh Mohitko.
Always amazing.
Oh, that's
Every
great.
single time.
Yeah.
Every single
That's
time.
Great.
That whole poem didn't even bring up poppies. Oh shit! What did I say?
Oh my
Don't
goodness.
do that! Don't do that! Don't do that!
Listen. That was funny. This is what I was hoping that someone would really go, but I'm always not really sure how folks are gonna really attach themselves to these themes. But I was hoping that someone would go here, and Umesh, you did. Thank you. He said, we don't even remember when we came here, but 80% of the village has our surname, so we're related in some way. And then the way he said it, he said, we are farmers, proud, hardworking, and emotional people. That is a legacy, right? That is something that you are proud to pass on to your next generation, right? That is what I meant by beautiful bloodlines, right? The reverence in which you spoke of your people and what you do as a family, your family business, that's what it's about, right? So when your great and great grandchildren start looking back at their great grandfather Unmesh, they will find out why they are such dedicated farmers. Because you are, sir. Thank you. He said our fight is with ourselves to get better. Come on. Is that not the plight of all of us? Please. Thank you, Unmesh. A mainstay. As I mentioned, he has his own open mic, as he mentioned. Let's Unmesh Life every Friday morning, 11 a.m., I believe, Umesh, is that right? 11. Plug in with Umesh. It's a beautiful international space. You will definitely learn something there. Appreciate you, Umesh. All right. Coming up next, the OG is in the building. All right. The Jedi Master is here, and he continues to do it and do it well. The one and only Paul Skiff is in the building. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online, OG. Always great to see you. Please take it away.
Yeah, Paul couldn't be here tonight. He's off on some other spiritual terrain. So he just sent me his voice instead and wanted me to do this less than a page long story. It's not on theme, which will become very apparent. At the choking end of a boiling day, bottom of August, when Pigsy went on automatic, I think it was caused by the fire escape, really. The fire escape caused it. Its rust-caked equipment, it being for a special purpose, about life and death, violent excitement. Being on the fire escape, going up, was a game on its seriousness. Going up the fire escape was a way to undo your own safety, to get away from following what the iron stairs were really for, which, if you did think of it, meant you were burning or choking in some way. So going up the fire escape was still escape from some pit of agitation. And you would have to come down. You would have to come down, and then you'd be different. So maybe Pigsy going up to be violent was a way to escape the unarguable, massive, hypnotic, insistent simplicity that was so reversible. Pigsy would have to come down again, start over, be okay. It wasn't like Pigsy was the kind you imagine to be otherwise sitting around idling, carving calluses off his knuckles with a penknife. Ziploc was sort of new to the building. There wasn't really anything about Ziploc towards which you would calculate violence. Ziploc was a bit small for his age and timid, but he wasn't a stranger. Ziploc spent most of his time alone on the 6th floor. Maybe that was what made Ziploc just part of the equation for Pigsy, an equation made up of obvious frailty, appetite for forbiddenness, the concrete safety of sensing you could never be erased, trying to get in the unenterable. An equation that blows up all around you out of numb, vicious, leave it for dead violence and peaks with a feeling of holiday. Ziploc wasn't a mere individual. Ziploc was a mystery in a luxurious show. And if Ziploc hadn't been there on the other side of the open window up there on the 6th floor, who knows what Pigsy would have done at the end of his thoughtless continuum. I think Pigsy ran himself up out against the sky, the heat and Ziploc's obvious frailty, trying to find where his senses were lost. Pigsy's senses could reinvent his sunkenness momently. And maybe to Pigsy, that was a kind of like being attacked, confined to the lead of the stairs going up, freed from trying to have to figure it out. Pigsy was a process looking for its result, dumb, winless, crippled inside somewhere. And Pigsy wanted to find his senses before they found him, lost. The difference between badness and ignorance were shuffled together, cooked up into the same sweet collision, the way a door itself tells you how to close and slam, the way a street itself tells you how to walk out and offer yourself up, speechlessly, without feeling. A binary, startling precision, tight, conclusive, unarguable, a pale, naked decision. Out on one of those steps, gravity got to Pigsy. He fell all over Ziploc, beat Ziploc, tore Ziploc, broke Ziploc's mind. It was a kind of brilliance, and when he came back down the fire escape, Pigsy really was in an emergency. After that, something in Ziploc had been tipped over, was spilled, crumpled up. After that, Ziploc was a ruins from which a startled SWAT would strike out if you got close. Ziploc was a wary, agitated pacer. Peacefulness and trust had given up inside Ziploc. Something saying it was the world had moved in, and it worked only one way, with caustic, brutal repulsion. an empty little swill at the bottom of an empty Ziploc was a vacant lot you didn't care to look at. And worse, Ziploc was a big, tall building where an advanced form of separation plugged and unplugged, begging for a smile. Pigsy hasn't done anything like that again, gone on automatic, that I know of anyway. But I think up there in the mauling, Pigsy found something out. Things that are supposed to be for saving you have that as an excuse. Being saved isn't a plain thing. Oh, sure, people are always going to provide a way out for themselves, but even an animal can read or follow the directions backwards and find out you weren't really safe anyway. People want you to think there really always is an escape, even though you can't escape anything with your own self. Yeah, maybe you can get lost in it somewhere, but then you are in a sacrifice. That's what's kind of tempting to me, That's what's kind of tempting to me. I wonder what got Pigsy so empty, so hollow. I mean, Pigsy only went up to the 6th floor. And when I give Pigsy water or pour out his cat food now, I'm given to thinking of the fire escape and what blind surge I would find waiting to swallow me if I went all the way up to the roof.
I tried to tell y'all the storytellers were in the building this evening, and that wasn't even Paul Skiff. That was just his voice. So unmute yourself and give it up for Paul Skiff's voice.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
music, man.
Wow.
On top of the brilliant writing by Timothy Gager,
Wow.
like for prose writing, you got to bring that to him. But the music that you mentioned, when Elemental reads, you can hear the fucking 11ths and the 9ths and the fucking sharps, and he just goes there. And the music and the way you read that as a prose reader, because we all hear your poetry, that was you could hear and feel every word you said. The tension and the lightness and the complexity is in every syllable. You're a brilliant orator. You really are.
Listen,
That's my man, Paul.
You see that right there? You see that right there? That is just further justification that Monday nights is a running masterclass in poetry, right? In so many different ways. You got right now 28. It's 28 professors in this building that you can learn something from. Trust and believe. We'll just call it Monday Night's Masterclass. I don't know. Listen, man. Shout out to the real Paul Skiff. The Jedi Master is, all over the universe. There's so many things that you do with that. As soon as you mentioned the fire escape, it made it very real, right? It brought it to a really real place, It's just something about that, the smell of it, the texture of it, again, right? The difference between badness and ignorance, right? He said the way a door tells you itself how to close and slam, right? He said Ziploc is just an advanced form of separation, right? Even an animal can follow the directions backward and find out you were never safe anyway. Come on, man. Like, he's telling stories forward and backwards. It's almost like a Tarantino type of thing, right? You go forward and then you realize that you only went half of the way and you got to go back to go forward. Man, a crazy, amazing skill to have. Storytellers in the building, man, for real. Shout out the OG. Listen, been doing this and doing it well. Rock with the founders. Truly appreciate you for coming and keeping us, right, filled with that spirit of true creativity. Thank you, Paul Skip. Appreciate you. All right, listen, we are coming down to the last few poets rounding out the evening. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it hype. Coming up next, Great Scott, we have a pleasant gesture, right? Shout out, Great Scott. I got a message this afternoon saying, hey, you know, I was able to secure my spot, but someone else wasn't, so I would like to pleasant gesture my spot to them. Listen, I mentioned it last week, and then, you know, Kate came through with the cinnamon waffles. And listen, shout out to Kate for giving up the spot to the one and only Dre Reyes in the building. So glad that you have become a mainstay rocking with us this Monday, every Monday. Listen, you know what it is. Let the folks know how they can connect with you. Take it away. Good to see you.
Good evening. I'm Dre Reyes, and you can find me on Instagram at DreRay90. And this right here is my first chapbook, Imposter Syndrome, fresh out of the oven. Let me know if you would like a copy, and we'll figure out what to do from there. With that said, this poem I'm about to do, Kate, first of all, thank you, Kate, for having me on. And so Kate pretty much dared me to perform this piece after she did her piece on gluten-free French toast. So I apologize in advance if I just completely shifts the mood. So yeah, this is called gluten-free French toast. Diabetes has never tasted as sweet and as filling as you delectable dish of gluten-free French toast. The way you tease me with your stacked figure, your moist texture, the way you drip, drip, drip is just the kind of behavior I expect from you, you naughty mess of cinnamon, egg, sugar, vanilla, butter, and bread. Your divine sogginess drives me crazier than rush hour traffic, making my belly beg to be fills to fulfillments by a voluptuous villain to any diet like you. My insides weep in sadness when we are apart, craving your sumptuous syrup to paint the insides of my mouth with a fine coat of maple brown. Seriously though, what the actual fuck are you even? You aren't just food, you are the impossible burger of breakfast, the Mount Everest of culinary excellence, the pinnacle of criminal behavior in my intestinal tract. You always had a way you always had your way inside me, you filthy animal. Now, come hither. I won't bite. I will roar. Thank you.
Listen, man. That food talk is real. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Dre Reyes.
Dre, what was that last?
Yeah. Dude,
More, another helping.
I'm hungry.
More. Okay.
Listen. This is. I absolutely love how two people can sit in the same environment and have a totally different perspective on what's going on, right? They were both sitting in front of some cinnamon goodness, and both of them are just like, you dirty plate of, I love it. I love it. He said, you and your stacked figure, you naughty mix like, of eggs and oh man, right? Like food is just so, like you just want to you're just so dirty. You're just so mean, you damn good ass food. Why is always the best stuff so bad for you? He called it divine sogginess, right? You're like the impossible burger of breakfast. That shit was just dope. Again, I love when food comes into play because it brings so much more to the poem. Because again, it's who can't relate to food, right? And then if it's something that people know and love, you're like Paul Skip said, I'm still remembering Kate's poem, right? Like you just don't forget good food, just like you don't forget good poems. Appreciate you, Dre Reyes. Shout out to Kate, for real, for real. They're becoming a very serious, powerful couple in our world. Appreciate you. All right, coming up next, Captain Flo in the building. This cat, another author in our midst, author of Emotional Defibrillator, continues to come through and burn it down. The one and only Daniel Fernandez in the building. Look, Gustav already got it. For real. Unmute yourself, man. Let these folks know how they can connect with you. Always good to see you. Take it away.
Hello. I put my link tree in the chat where you can get the book, where you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, etc. And also the link to the book behind me. I actually have like 4 new poems, but you know, of course I can't read them all. So I'm gonna just pick a random one. None of them are in theme though, but this is let me go back over here. I saw you fade and chose to run away, which was one that I made about last week, a week and a half ago. And this one is like a song. So I have a hook, verse, but still poem. So this is, I saw you fade and chose to run away. I woke up and thought about you today, thinking about our love and how it used to be praised, using our memories to have euphoria pervade. Regardless of my reasons, I can never persuade. I bought a ring with loyalty to have a promise engraved. I don't know how you're coping, but I'm emotionally drained. Maybe if I inspired, our vision could have been saved. I saw you fade and chose to run away. Falling in love is not a choice. To stay in love is. It's our hearts beating in sync that had me convinced. Run aside discipline and walk with forgiveness. I dance with solace while desire was evicted. Being a perfectionist can result in stress and depression. I forgot about myself while manifesting our connection. My sanity was demolished from your hurricane of intentions. I prepared for the worst, but not a recession. Distracting our tedious lives by traveling over our budget. We set plans we can't afford, and then you wonder why I'm upset. Money that's not managed correctly becomes an ocean of regret. If I'm trying to overcome poverty, why am I playing Russian roulette? Your heart is pure, but your subconscious mind is illogical. Your words sting like a bullet ant, and yet I'm responsible. I'm frazzled, but I simmer down to avoid trips to the hospital. I choose to be with you, and you act like that's optional. My bed feels empty, like an abandoned event. I can finally move my legs since your body I no longer lie against. Cuddling a pillow since you got up and left. With all that time alone, it feels like solitary confinement. We always want more choices than we can cope with. But when things go south, you want to plead the fifth. I could be innocent with a guilty verdict. I'm suffocating from being so constricted. I woke up and thought about you today, thinking about our love and how it used to be praised, using our memories to have euphoria pervade. Regardless of my reasons, I can never persuade. I bought a ring with loyalty to have a promise engraved. I don't know how you're coping, but I'm emotionally drained. Maybe if I inspired, our vision could have been saved. I saw you fade and chose to run away. I love you became a phrase that diminished as time moved on. So I write what's critical, that way it's drawn. Our passion was perfect until your presence was gone. Intimacy was treasured like a favorite song. We make most of our decisions unconsciously, relying on knowledge, presuming you'll be done properly. I can't breathe while being confronted by a government monopoly. Prices double then triple. What happened to democracy? Our brains start eating itself if it doesn't get enough sleep. Life will feel incomplete and somewhat bleak. Actions lead to consequences, and anxiety begins to increase. An argument surfaces, and it's never discreet. You change for 2 reasons. Either you learn enough that you want to, or you've been hurt enough that you have to. I respect your effort, but verbalize life from my point of view. Don't trust the internet because most of it is untrue. Patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to keep a good attitude while doing so. You have to work on yours, but apparently you already know. I'm always there for you for the times you felt low. You screwed with my kindness, and now I'm paralyzed like a scarecrow. Once you fall in love, there's no going back to being friends again. You said I'm not your soulmate. What a way to offend. I have my hands behind my back as if I'm being apprehended. There's limits to a relationship, but you found a way to transcend. I woke up and thought about you today, thinking about our love and how it used to be praised, using our memories to have euphoria pervade. Regardless of my reasons, I can never persuade. I bought a ring with loyalty to have a promise engraved. I don't know how you're coping, but I'm emotionally drained. Maybe if I inspired, our vision could have been saved. I saw you fade and chose to run away. Thanks.
Damn. Man, look, and that's some new shit. Unmute yourself, give it up for Daniel Fernandez.
Daniel, sing it, bro. Yeah.
Oh, some new shit too.
Good stuff.
Man, listen. Appreciate you, Daniel. I appreciate you for keeping your pen moving, right? Sometimes we get caught up in so many other things, right? But you keep it moving, and I appreciate that so much about you, And then you're so locked into your flow, right? You said you got it already sectioned out, 8 bars, 16. Like I really love that. You said falling in love is not a choice. Staying in love is. That's heavy, man. I forgot about myself while manifesting our connection, right? Felt like solitary confinement, right? When things go south, they just try to plead the fifth. Yeah. Did you say you bought a ring with honesty? Is that what you said? Hold on, I'm coming back at you because I want to make sure I got that right. Coming back at you, Daniel. Because I just want to make sure I got that part right. It sounded like you said you bought this ring with honesty, right?
No, I wrote, let me go back to the thing. I wrote, I bought a ring with loyalty to have a promise engraved.
Loyalty, even better. Like, it's so much about that, right? Honesty is a good one too, but loyalty, shit. You bought it with loyalty. Listen, see, when you start turning emotions into currency, right? Now we're headed toward infinity, right? You said, I'm not your soulmate. What a way to offend. Damn it. Heavy lines, man, and all that you do. I truly appreciate you. Make sure you are plugging in with Daniel and all that he does. Shout out Mama Flo, always for checking in on social media. We truly appreciate all your support. All right, y'all, look, we are down to the last few poets of the evening. Before we get to them, shout out the folks that were here. Amna was here. Principe, Sammy Vendetti was here. Terry Rose Jurtson, Jamisha Rose was here. Cameron Xavier Arnold, iPhone 215, appreciate you, bro. Daughter of Krypton was in here. Emma Bonson has been here. Arson did hit me up, wasn't able to come through. Sierra PG and Kaleem Kennedy was supposed to come through, but I haven't seen them. But all right, last few poets, y'all, and I'm gonna get y'all out of here. Coming up next, a newer mainstay in our community. Shout out DG Clearing for bringing us this powerful voice. This poet continues to come through and share his incredible work. Last week, I believe it was some new shit. I'm looking forward to what he has this week. The one and only James Hamilton is here. Let these folks know where they can find you online. It's great to see you. Please take it away.
Thanks for having me out again, Elemental. You can find me in the chat. Everything's in there. James Hamilton, author, everywhere. So family business. My family business is traveling around, spreading the word. So I am definitely on topic tonight and ready to go. 7 open mics, live open mics I've done in the last 8 days. Traveling. 600 miles total. So this was called Drive. Painted lines, green highway signs, reflection stripes and brush-colored brush. Velvety violet gray asphalt on the ground, gravelly grooved concrete slush. Beautiful traction. And I look around, hard on believing. Above the sun's beating, the air streaming, and the sound of tires and motors screaming. How the road can fill up the hollow inside. Roads between here, there, and everywhere, stifling my running hide. Deflating my polka dot parachute, generally pacifying my jitterbuggy mind. So I don't give a shit. So I don't care about any of it. Is it mental masturbation, thought process subjugation, subjective signals and information, distraction, reaction, extrasensory perception dumbed down? And I frown because I lost my place. I lost the why I'm in this fucking race. And then again, was it even a race in the first place or just monkey shines all the time? Or is it all in my mind? Damn. Energy beaming, batshit, country, rat riddled, visual hallucination, audible paradiddle, telepathy streaming along, fortune teller, programming, rewiring, wrong, code flaw, ball crystal mystic, some source sending misery, poison, program psyche, energy algorithm pissing on me, Duality interchange, one way a captive, one way free. Most days neither switchback even feels like me. I shake my head, ears ringing in dread, tears in my eyes, blood pressure rise, and I tell myself to focus on the road ahead and just fucking drive.
Oh, yo, the road is something so serious. Unmute yourself, give it up for James.
That's some good writing. That's good. Mention, criticize your own art form inside your own poem, man. That's work. And then fucking all the way to mental masturbation to telepathy. What was that line? Those are two goodies in there, man.
Yeah, for real.
Criticize your own shit inside
man.
your own shitty. But you got to get there. That's some ego busting. You got to get out of your own way. Good work.
Absolutely. Then this is how poems become inception. Right? Because he was writing the poem and then he realized that he was writing the poem. So he critiqued himself writing the poem, right? When you take those steps back, then you realize which part of you is actually writing the poem, right? Like CC said, he went all the way, right? To mental masturbation, extra sensory perception, dumbed down, right? It just monkey shines all the time, right? An audible paradiddle, right? All the ball crystal mystics, like, come on, man. Let me just shout out the fact that you said you had gone 600 miles, I believe, in the last 8 days you mentioned. That, folks, is called dedication. You can't buy that, right? When you're connected to what you do and you're plugged into what you do, it just has to happen, right? There is no, well, I don't know if I can do it. It's like, well, I guess I'm going to get on the road and drive these miles to get to where I need to get to because I have to get this off. I have to put in this work. And that is the work. Thank you for putting it in and for coming through and sharing it with us. We are here for it and we look forward to the next time you come through and bring your incredible work. Thank you, truly. All right, y'all. We did have one more person, but I can't see them. So we are going to close the night with an incredible poet. Listen, this poet comes through with her incredible work. Last week, even had the baby in the bed with her, plugging into this incredible thing that we call poetry. And I'm looking forward to what she is going to share with us this evening. I believe she is also an educator, but we're going to find out. I hope that you're still in the building. Eliza, are you still with us this evening? I don't see her.
She's here. She has her camera off. I just asked her to unmute. Are you there? Are you there?
I did as well.
Maybe she's with the baby. Maybe she had to.
Absolutely. But look, y'all, I'm gonna get y'all out of here, right? If Eliza can come through, then we'll let Eliza rip. And if not, we'll make sure that Eliza can rip next week. All right. I want to make sure that folks who take the time to sign up, that they get all the time that they deserve. Listen, to every poet who touched the mic this evening, from Mr. Teza Somo all the way to James, who clearly has closed the night out for us this evening. I truly thank you, right? When it comes to things like this, when it comes to things like family business, it's not easy to share these things, right? To explore the difficult things about going through our bloodlines, right? And trying to find the beauty. Sometimes they're not beautiful, right? Sometimes the trees, our family trees, are twisted and mangled. They look like they come off of Elm Street, all right? But they're ours. And we are doing the best that we can to make beautiful memories out of some of the tragic crap that happened in our past. But I'm gonna tell each and every one of y'all, I am here for it. Whether you are writing on theme or not, all of that work, all of that hard work that you are putting into it, I appreciate it. Every single letter, every single emotion, I appreciate it. I appreciate all of y'all for hanging out with us all night. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're rocking with us, the greatest community in the world. We're gonna end the night like this until we meet again. May this energy we conjured this evening supercharge the rest of your week. Take this power, inspire others, energize creativity as we all hope to do through the spirit of Miguel Agarin. Your voice is appreciated, necessary, and always valuable in this space. Thank you for sharing it with us. On behalf of the greatest community in the world, it has truly been a pleasure spending Monday night with y'all. Until we meet next week, y'all. Peace.